Hello everyone. There are a huge number of places on our planet that are definitely worth visiting at least once in a lifetime. As a rule, this is the breathtaking beauty of nature, but there are also places where it is better never to look, and not at all because there is nothing to see there. It just can be really dangerous, life-threatening. But despite the frightening conditions, most of these places are populated by people whose courage can only be envied. So, today we will go to the most extreme corners of the world and see if they are really that dangerous. People often pollute the water bodies where they live. And this is a huge environmental problem. But sometimes things take a frightening turn not only for wildlife, but also for humans. The Citarum River, located in West Java in Indonesia, plays an important role for the locals. Citarum is used to support agriculture, industrial water supply, sewerage and more. Too much for one not too big river, isn't it? In addition, ordinary household waste is dumped here, as a result of which the river is covered with a real film of waste. But the river basin is home to about 5 million people. Just imagine how much waste they produce, as well as the various factories and plants. But not so long ago the river was rich in fish and blossoming gardens grew on the banks and birds sang. And now you can see only plastic trash, fish died and only bacteria remained. But the most surprising and even frightening thing is that not only crops are irrigated with this water, but they also drink it, simply because there is nothing else to drink. Of course, water is boiled before use, but this only kills harmful bacteria, and salts of heavy metals and various toxic impurities remain in it. We think you can imagine what the consequences of all this are. Have you ever complained about the cold? Well, you've just never been to the village of Oymyakon in Yakutia, Russia. Oymyakon is best known as one of the cold poles on the planet. And according to a number of parameters, the local valley is the most severe place on Earth, where a permanent population lives. About 500 people live in the village and the conditions can hardly be called comfortable. Can you imagine going to the bathroom outside when the thermometer is minus 72 degrees Fahrenheit? And the residents of Oymyakon can. And they continue to live in these harsh conditions despite the numerous problems they have to face. Ink freezes in pens, batteries lose power, and clothes, if hung up after washing outside, become so hard that can break apart. But here you can hammer in nails with an ordinary banana. Where else can you see this?
Effective! Look at that!
Perhaps that is why tourists from all over the world often come to Oymyakon. Many people want to test themselves for strength, but for this you need to be a real extreme, because even metal bursts here from the cold. Tornado Alley. If you have ever seen a tornado live or at least on a real recording, then you probably understand that it is deadly to meet with. It is no coincidence that a tornado is considered the most violent of all atmospheric storms. A huge vertical vortex, accelerating the air to incredible speed, sweeps away absolutely everything that comes across it, and it is better not to get in its way. Tornadoes can occur anywhere in the world, but there are far more of them in the United States than anywhere else, especially in the southeastern states, dubbed Tornado Alley. The alley covers Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota and eastern Colorado. For example, on April 27, 2011, the appearance of 207 tornadoes was registered here within one day. The appearance of a tornado in the United States is easy to explain. The warm, humid air of the Gulf of Mexico meets dry cold air from the Rocky Mountains, squeezed by air currents from the east of the country. This often creates conditions leading to heavy loads and tornadoes. Because of the frequency of tornadoes in America, a warning and rapid response system was established here. It includes the construction of shelters, sirens, and safety training. The exercises are held regularly, so every local resident knows exactly what to do when the sirens sound. In addition, cities in the most tornado-prone states have stricter building standards, and their homes are often equipped with tornado shelters. However, despite this, the tornado not only causes colossal losses, but also takes away human lives. Any volcano raises certain concerns, but Sinabung deserves a separate mention. This stratovolcano located in the northern part of Sumatra and rises 2,460 meters above the sea level. For 4 centuries, he slept quite peacefully, but in August 2010, for some unknown reason, he suddenly trembled and woke up. At the same time, emissions of smoke and ash were recorded at a height of at least 1.5 kilometers. Since Sinabung slept for several hundred years, people grew bolder and built villages within a radius of 10 miles. Of course, the residents had to be evacuated. And it was not just an evacuation, many simply fled in fear. In September of the same year, a new eruption took place, then another and another. From the moment of its awakening, the Sinabung does not let us forget about itself. As a result of some eruptions, people die, but the locals still refuse to leave the affected area. Meanwhile, every year the activity of the volcano only increases. The last eruption occurred on May 7, 2019. Then a huge column of ash and smoke rose into the air to a height of 2,000 meters, covering the nearest village with debris, and local residents were advised to beware of possible lava flows. Unlike the already mentioned dangerous places, the Snake Island, or as it is officially called Queimada Grande, is prohibited to visit. The thing is that this piece of land, located more than 30 kilometers from the coast of the Brazilian state of São Paulo, is simply teeming with poisonous snakes. But how did it happen that creeping creatures simply flooded the island? After all, they did not come here from the shores of Ireland, from where the serpent in the legend expelled St. Patrick? Far away. It's pretty simple. Once the Snake Island was part of the mainland, but since the sea level rose, the island has been cut off from the mainland. In conditions of isolation and natural selection, snakes had to rapidly expand their population. As a result, according to some reports, today about 4,000 individuals of the island botrops, a rare and very poisonous species, live on the Snake Island. Island botrops can be more than half a meter in length and their bite causes rapid tissue necrosis, plus a host of symptoms, including kidney failure, muscle necrosis, cerebral hemorrhage, and internal bleeding. Prospects are so-so. There is a lighthouse on Queimada Grande, but since its keepers died from snake bites, the structure was switched to automatic mode. Some experts claim that there are up to 5 snakes per yard 2 of a snake island. But still, they are read as an endangered species, because Queimada Grande is the only place where island botrops can be found in the wild. The Brazilian Navy closed access to the island in the 1920s to protect snakes from humans and humans from snakes, but some extreme lovers visit the island at their own risk.